Hello, it's a pleasure to have you join us on NTA Nationwide. We are live in Abuja. I am Juma Yusuf. We begin with an update from the NCDC as of 20th of April 2020. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control NCDC announced 38 new cases of COVID-19 across the country, bringing the number of confirmed cases to 665. Of the 38 new cases, 23 are in Kano, 5 in Gombe, 3 in Kaduna, 2 in Borno, 2 in Abuja, 1 in the FCT, 1 in Sokoto, and 1 in Ekiti. 188 patients have been discharged so far, and the death toll has risen to 22. Sokoto state government has recorded the first case of COVID-19 since its emergence in Nigeria. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal broke the news in a state broadcast. Shehu Muhammad Datti has the report.
According to the governor, the index case is currently receiving treatment at Osman Onfed University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. With the confirmation, the patient will be transferred to the established isolation center at Amanawa. The governor appealed to the citizens to continue to obey and respect measures by health experts to further contain the spread of the pandemic.
That all measures in place should continue to be respected, and if need be, for the safety of the generality of the populace and people of Sokoto State, we may take further necessary measures.
Meanwhile, Sokoto State has isolation centers at Osman Onfed University Teaching Hospital and at Infectious Disease Hospital Amanawa. Palliatives have also been put in place for health workers.
100% payment of hazard allowance to all health workers for the months of April and May, and also payment of weekly allowances for health workers that are in the front line.
Further necessary measures are to be taken for the safety of the people in the state. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal has directed security agencies to ensure that Musa Bashir, the MD of Bashiria Global Resource, is not allowed to enter the state. The governor gave the directive when he received the report of the advisory committee on the state-sponsored Ramadan feeding program. Dalhatu Abdullahi tells us more.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal gave the standing order while receiving the report of the 20-member advisory committee on the 2020 Ramadan feeding program in Sokoto. Tambuwal said his decision to disallow the MD of Bashiria Global Resources entry into the state is based on his travel history.
I received an intelligence report that Alhaji Musa Bashar, known as Rahmania, is on his way to Sokoto, and his son Abubakar has tested positive, and they just recently returned together with the son from United Arab Emirates, Dubai. He should go back and get himself examined and tested. If he's negative and then he gets a pass, then he comes back.
While saying that the recommendations will be carefully implemented, the governor noted that Ramadan feeding program would be carried out, but the prescribed strategies that can avoid spread of COVID-19 in the state. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
As part of measures to stem the spread of COVID-19, Nigerian airports earlier shut down as part of efforts to control the spread of coronavirus in the country will no longer be reopened by the 23rd of April 2020, as earlier projected. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika said the new projected date of resumption of airport operations is consequent upon the 2 weeks extension of the lockdown by President Muhammadu Buhari. He has therefore appealed to air travelers and all stakeholders in the aviation industry to see the current situation as sacrifices necessary to safeguard the health and well-being of the people, with the hope that the pandemic will be short-lived. President Muhammadu Buhari salutes veteran journalist Felix Adedapo Adeneke on his 80th birthday, April 21st, 2020, felicitating with him for working with major print media houses in the country and abroad and consistently serving the nation with his talent of skillful writing. Statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says President Buhari applauds Adeneke's dedication to investigative writing, penetrative analysis and management of people and resources as Chief Executive Officer and Editor-in-Chief and member of many editorial boards in national and international media platforms, which include Daily Times, Daily Sketch, Nigerian Tribune, The Guardian, The Nation, Times of London and BBC Africa. The President believes the renowned journalist's love for the nation and people have been clearly demonstrated in his willingness to serve in some public institutions over the years at both state and federal levels. Let's now join Dotun Oguyemi from our Lagos Center for an update on COVID-19. Hello, Dotun.
Hello, Jumai, and many thanks for joining us. In fulfillment of its promise to cushion the effect of the lockdown, local government areas in Lagos State have commenced the feeding of the vulnerables in their localities. Annie Daniels has details.
The federal and state governments, in the quest to make life comfortable for Nigerians amidst COVID-19 lockdown, made available palliatives like food stimulus for the vulnerable. Corporate organizations, individuals, groups and non-governmental organizations are also complementing the efforts of these two tiers of government to bring succor to the people to survive the lockdown.
But we just expanded to also include other beneficiaries, and that is in hundreds of thousands of naira. We're reaching out to thousands of these trader and market people that we're giving this intervention to.
That's more than enough that we believe will continue to push down to our citizens.
And for indigents of Lagos, they cannot thank the government less for the gesture.
Government workers, they are the ones that invite us, that they are sharing food here because of there is no work. So they are using it to assist the citizens of the country.
Food, rice, with both chicken and water. At least it is okay.
God will bless them. Thank you.
The step, the state government says, will remain until situations normalize.
We are supporting the state's drive to see how we can feed additional people, more people to what the state is doing already as a local council, because we are the ones that they see, we are the closest to the grassroots, and we have to do what we have to do to make them happy, put smiles on their faces.
This exercise is replicated in all local government areas in the state. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
As COVID-19 pandemic continues its deadly march through the continent, Nigeria inclusive, corporate organizations and individuals are adapting to the present reality by putting in place some of the lessons learned so far with the lockdown. Ken Igbeluge completes the story.
For a country like Nigeria, which has not experienced a lockdown of this nature, having to stay at home close to a month is an experience citizens will not forget in a hurry. But the reality on ground calls for a more pragmatic approach in doing things on the flip side of the lockdown.
We have been on lockdown, but work has been going on. What has happened is that we have moved work from the physical brick and mortar, buildings that we go on a daily basis to our homes. The lesson is that this is the new normal.
Another important lesson I've learned, and which I know other Nigerians too have learned, is prudency. Now you don't spend indiscriminately.
Important thing is staying alive, being alive at least, because it's when you're alive that, of course, you can go ahead with other plans that you have.
During this lockdown, let's reflect on truly what life is all about. And after this lockdown, let's not go back to our old ways again. Once in a while, let's lock down ourselves. Let's lock down ourselves. Let's look, I locked down for 1 month, I didn't die, so let me lock down myself for 2 days, 3 days.
With fingers crossed and the flames of hope kept alive in hearts across the globe, countries, medical experts, corporate bodies, and individuals in the thick of the problem have already started putting plans in place for life post-COVID-19. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Nationwide continues after the break.
Fellow Nigerians, follow the instructions on social distancing. The irresponsibility of the few can lead to the death of many. Your freedom ends where other people's rights begin. The security agencies have risen to the challenges posed by this unprecedented situation with gallantry, and I commend them. I urge them to continue to maintain utmost vigilance, firmness, as well as restraint in enforcing the restriction orders while not neglecting statutory security responsibilities.
Ramadan in the face of COVID-19. How best to practice spiritual obligation in times like this? For answers and more, tune in tonight to NTA Tuesday Live. The program will be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, in view of the COVID-19 pandemic we are currently challenged with, we at Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society enjoin all Muslims to adhere strictly to government directives geared towards stopping the spread of the virus. These measures include the stay-at-home order, washing of hands with soap and water, using hand sanitizers where water is not available, and other hygiene measures. We remind you all of the words of Allah in the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 195, which says, "And do not throw yourselves with your own hands into destruction." We also remind you of the hadith of the noble prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which says, "Do not cause harm or return harm." Please stay at home and stay safe with continuous dua. This message is from Project Itfine of Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society. Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, from Allah to you, a light.
Welcome, dear. Have you washed your hands?
Inside my house again. This thing not the key black man.
I don't know if it's misinformation or poor hygiene that will kill you first. Coronavirus is real, and good hygiene practice will save your life. Anyway, no hand washing, no eating.
I will not take care of it. How's one of the parents? Coronavirus is real and it's on the rise. But you can help yourself and help others to be safe. Remember, we can stop the spread. It's in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
I just don't understand this coronavirus thing. Is it real?
See, coronavirus, known as COVID-19, it's a global problem and has killed thousands of people in China, Italy, Spain, UK, US, and other countries around the world.
Okay. Now, why are they saying that we should stay home?
Because if you go outside and get in contact with someone who is infected, you become infected and then come back home, affect your family. That's how it happens in other countries.
Now, please, help me explain what this social distance is all about.
See, as we are now, the virus travels through the air and by touch. We must maintain 6 foot distance at all times.
Oh, so it's not by washing my hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer that is only important?
Washing of our hands regularly is very important. But we must come together and fight this virus like we did Ebola. It is our responsibility to each other.
Now, thank you so much for joining us. We now join the NCDC Situation Room with updates on COVID-19. Thanks for watching.